Hi Bassel, let's take a look at this new set of essays you have sent us. Employees stay at the same job or they should switch. Let's see. Experts around the world have been debating about the number of jobs a person should occupy during the professional cycle. Okay? Although some people claim it is more beneficial to stay at the same job all the way to the end, I disagree. This essay will argue that holding various jobs is more valuable, giving examples to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay. I like that. If there was one area that I wasn't a huge fan of, it was this expression here, the profession cycle. Awkward, not natural. So I would have probably changed that. Here's my suggestion. Experts around the world have been debating about the number of jobs a person should occupy during his or her professional career. Okay? On the one hand, those who advocate the concept of one job cite several reasons. At first, it is indisputable that by keeping the same task for a long time, the level of risk decreases significantly, and this is mainly because the level of adaptation a person has achieved will take so long to attain at another place with a different management style, in addition to the new challenges ahead. For instance, a recent report published by Harvard University revealed that 90% of the successful CEOs have started their first job at in the same company. Additionally, in today's expensive life, end of service plays a vital role. And due to the fact it is calculated based on the number, this is awkward. Let me look at it again. Additionally, in today's expensive life, end of service plays a vital role. And this due to the fact that I don't understand why you put it here. And it is calculated based on the number of years spent with a T at the company. I think the sentence makes more sense without that due to the fact. So I would get rid of that for sure. Therefore, it is highly weighted by many to serve in the same corporation for the entire career journey. Thus, it is conclusively clear that serving at the same place, serving, okay? Change up your vocabulary, please. At the same place is makes better sense, at least for the risk-averse individuals. Okay, I kind of wanted to hear a little bit more about this because I can't really say that reading that paragraph I completely understood what you were talking about. You said something about end of service. So my assumption was that you meant something about retiring, perhaps, but that didn't really come out here. So you needed to say more about this, about how it's really in one's benefit to, work in one career so you can get a better pension. I mean, just a little more specific. It felt very vague to me, so I wanted a little more information. Wow, this is a nice long paragraph. Let's see what you said here. On the other hand, despite the facts stated above, I would argue that shifting across different jobs is a compulsory action, and this is largely because the growing competition between corporations has led many companies to go bankrupt, and others went down in a blink of an eye. No, I don't understand this. I don't know why it's relevant. This is largely because the growing competition between corporations has led many companies to become bankrupt. Okay, I'm not really sure I understand your logic here, but let's see what you said. If a person does not, we don't use will in a conditional like this, okay? So if a person does not develop an enormous, no. You don't develop an enormous skill. We don't say that really. So if a person does not develop considerable skills by occupying different jobs or numerous skills by occupying different jobs, the appalling consequences can be disastrous. Appalling feels out of place here. That is to say, that to make a living cannot be guaranteed by just working in the same company. I still don't understand your logic. You've now written like how many sentences? 3, 4? And I just don't understand where you're going with this. Let's see if I can understand it a little further down. Furthermore, it has to be mentioned that widening connections, get rid of the in front of a plural. This is always crucial. It is always crucial to ease up various aspects in life. To illustrate, the IMF published a report demonstrating that 70% of entrepreneurs' success depends on networking. Get rid of the here. One last point, even though it might seem logical, I don't like this one last point. Lastly is how you could say this. Finally, Even though it might seem, get rid of the S, logical to reap the accomplishments within the same company, nevertheless, the company takes advantage of that. Get rid of nevertheless, it doesn't fit. In other words, internal promotions never yield a significant jump in salary as a new hiring does. Thus, why do you say that? I think that's something you should have extended. Thus, it can be stated without doubt that the devastated is the wrong word here. The situation a person can face as a result of the business fluctuations is enough to encourage anyone to gain different experiences that require holding at least 2 different jobs, if not more. Okay. All right. I wanted to finish the paragraph so I could understand what you were trying to say earlier on in the paragraph. So let's see if I can now make some appropriate changes here. Okay. So it sounds like what you were saying here is that companies go out of business all the time. Therefore, it is really important for people to not be too loyal to a company and instead have such a skill set that they can easily transfer their skills to another company. All right, and you're suggesting that this cannot be so easily done if you stay at one company, but if you have multiple experiences from different companies, it will then be easier for you. That's how I understood what you were trying to say. It is now your responsibility to kind of put that all together in a way that makes sense, okay? In a way that works in an academic essay. Because, yeah, I mean, that's what I felt like you were trying to say, but it took all of this to say it, and I still didn't feel you really did it successfully until I got to that very last sentence. Okay. Here, another thing that you have to say, you said something about connections is really important, and then you said entrepreneurs' success depends on networking. So explain to me, why can't I have a solid network staying in the same company? You have to explain to us why switching jobs is helpful in this respect. Okay? You didn't do that. So this was very vague. You didn't make it relevant. You didn't explain to us how it is relevant to switching jobs. So it wasn't clear. It needed to be developed further. And then again, I already spoke to you about how I thought this was problematic and I didn't really understand what you were trying to say. So even though it was a really long paragraph and you had a number of really lovely ideas, you just didn't go far enough with them. You didn't explain them clearly enough. So the whole paragraph came off as rather incoherent. So, to sum up, while it is widely believed that one job throughout the career journey is the right decision, I don't like the expression career journey. It's unnatural. It is undoubtedly clear that multiple jobs are mandatory to secure a person's career, developing varieties of essential skills to be ready for the fluctuations that frequently happen across the globe. Okay, that's fine. So I think I've given you considerable feedback on this essay. I think you know where the strengths and where the weaknesses lie. You wrote a lot, but it's not developed coherently and in a way that really supports your argument. So I even felt like maybe you wrote so much because you too were having a problem kind of expressing some of these ideas that you were trying to express. So let's move on and go to your task 1. All right, let's take a look at this task 1 now, English and Homestay. Hello, Roxana. I am the one who's supposed to visit you after tomorrow for the Homestay program. Firstly, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bassel. While I am currently living in Belgium, I am originally from Egypt. I work as a financial controller in a steel company. As you might already noticing, my English is at intermediate level, though I am looking forward to enhancing my language skills further. It would be really helpful to focus on the business English writing because I use it frequently in my work. All right, so we have to change a few things here, Bassel, okay? First of all, my interpretation of this task is that this letter is a formal letter. You've never met the people who are going to be hosting you. For that reason, it should be formal. You don't know them. You don't know what they're like. You've never met them. So it is more appropriate to be formal in this letter. Another thing you have to remember is that when you get the task, it will say, begin your letter, dear, ... So this hello is really inappropriate, okay? So, my recommendation is to be safe and to be more formal, saying something like, Dear Ms. Smith. Now, this also felt really awkward to me, this whole sentence. It just grammatically was off, so we have to fix a few things here in this paragraph, right? Let's do that now. Dear Ms. Smith, I am writing regarding the English and Homestay program for which you have offered to host me. My name is Bassel, whatever your last name is, okay? And I am a financial controller in Belgium, but I am originally from Egypt, okay? And then I would like to thank you for agreeing to host me for the program. Then you could say all this. As you may have already noticed, my English is at an intermediate level, though I'm looking forward to enhancing my language skills further. It would be really helpful to focus on business English writing because I use it. Okay, that's not really the person's job. The person is hosting you, okay? So I felt like this sentence was also kind of irrelevant, all right? The person has just offered to open their home to you. They're probably not going to teach you business English, but that's okay. Anyway, let's move on. I am interested to know some useful insights about Britain, as this will be my first time to visit. No, let's fix that. I am interested in knowing some useful information about Britain, as this will be my first time visiting the UK. No, semicolon, and definitely I would love to go around and visit some interesting places. Actually, comma, I am fond of shopping and wanted to make sure what time shops close. Full stop, get rid of at. Moreover, do you think it is safe to go around late, and do you recommend avoiding specific places where the crime rate is high? Okay, you don't need a period here. One last question regarding the weather. Do you think I have to pack numerous jackets or no need? All right, we have to fix that grammar, but let's talk about it in 1 second. I heard it turns chilly some nights during the summer in UK. Okay, basically what you've done here is you've asked a number of direct questions, and as I said, this should be a formal letter, and so you want to reduce the number of direct questions you ask and instead supply indirect questions which sound more formal, more polite. So, for example, moreover, I would like your opinion on the safety of going out at night or going out late at night, and if you recommend avoiding specific places where the crime rate is high. Full stop, and you don't need a question mark. It's an indirect question. It sounds more formal and more polite. One last question regarding the weather. I didn't really care for this. I felt like it was also a little awkward. So, additionally, I have one last question regarding the weather. And then you could put a colon. I was wondering if you believe I should pack numerous jackets or not. Okay? And then you're fine with the rest of that sentence. My flight will depart tomorrow by 11 a.m., landing in London around 2 p.m. After passing border control with no A, I will take the underground to downtown, and from there we'll follow the map heading to your place. I guess that sounds very informal. I am supposed to arrive by 5 in the afternoon. Thank you in advance and see you soon. Full stop. Don't forget your full stop. Don't forget also to write your name on the following line. Okay, so I think also I've given you some information here that explains to you the strengths and weaknesses of this letter. There is some good stuff, but some of it needs to be altered a little bit, so that's what I would like you to do. Go ahead and correct these essays, Bassel, and let's rewrite for the next time. Okay, but definitely there need to be some improvements as well. Okay, good luck, and I'll be waiting to see what you write next.